Welcome to the platform, Pastor Tunde Bakare. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be here.
My ultimate pleasure.
All right, so we just want to ask a couple of questions concerning the nation. We're celebrating 60 years of our independence. And so we want to know your own perspective on issues. And the first thing I want to ask is, as an examiner scoring Nigerian nation on its performance at 60 years, relative to her potential, what score will you assign Nigeria and why?
Well, it's obvious that Nigeria is below par. If you compare potentials with performance, far apart. The expectation of our founding fathers and the citizens at that time, because I was old enough to be in school, young, but the atmosphere was charged in such a way that, something has changed in respect of our country. And if you compare our performance with the nations that began this journey with us, nations like Singapore, I'm not going to go too far, like Malaysia, like even Indonesia and South Korea, they've left us behind. We are still in the woods. We are yet to come out. But we thank God that we are still a nation. And we trust God that as we dialogue this afternoon and others bring their ideas to the table, those who are leading us will begin to put the best of us in strategic positions to move our nation forward. No nation anywhere can survive or embark on predictable progress with mediocres in charge. Until right becomes might, and might is no longer right, we remain in the woods forever.
Okay, since you asked that, let me just ask you this. All these nations that we talk about that select right people into leadership, they do not practice federal character. So would you say that we should just take the best of people, or we take the best of people from everywhere?
There is no state in Nigeria, and there is no ethnic nationality in Nigeria that you don't have the cream de la cream, those who are fit. If I'm going to go to my constituency, which is primarily the church, if we are the salt of the earth and the light of the world, how involved have we been? If the whole earth is groaning, waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God, so that the bondage of corruption can be broken, where are the sons of God in strategic position that will make the difference? It's not that federal character is not our problem, just as population is not our problem. China is more populous than we are, and they used to be very poor. India is more populated than we are. So it's not population, neither is it federal character. Because the principle of federal character is to ensure that no part of the nation, region, or ethnic nationality is marginalized. So why don't you take the best in every place and bring them together? I know a little bit about UK, United Kingdom, that their policy formulators are taken from Oxford and Cambridge. They will get their best brains and bring them into civil service. But we get our own dropouts and put them in our civil service, majorly, and you want us to climb Mount Everest. It's not going to happen. So, it's not population, it's not federal character. It's what we are making that federal, how we translate or interpret our federal character. That's the problem. I've met brilliant people from northern part of the country. I've met from the eastern part of the country. extremely brilliant, very productive people. I said it somewhere, Pastor Poju, that I'm not sure, and I'm not limiting the Almighty. I hope this will not be seen as blasphemy. I'm not sure that the Bible contemplates Nigerian leadership, because the Bible says when the blind leads the blind, they all end up in the ditch. But we're in a nation where the blind leads the seeing. That's our problem.
All right. Your State of Nation speech this time last year focused almost exclusively on security in Nigeria, suggesting that you considered it to be the top national priority at the time. Why so, and how has this changed given all that has happened with healthcare and economy since then? Has that changed, or security is still a problem?
Well, the present government, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, announced 3 critical things as their focus or their agenda as they were coming into power. Security, diversified economy, fight against corruption. And if you look at our security architecture, you know that something is wrong when our soldiers from the battle line are releasing videos of "we are tired." When it took on the mantle of leadership, it relocated, as it were, it took the power base of the military, more or less, to the war front. And we all had a sigh of relief that something is going to happen. But today there's so much bloodletting, bloodshed. I'm not sure we have really won the battle against terrorism in our country. Neither am I sure we are doing well with those who have now matured into what I call process of crime. Our young men that have become jobless are taken to kidnapping. They've seen that crime pays. So, what level of, or what expectation do you have when we can deploy 30,000 people to go take care of election, 30,000 policemen, and we have less than that pursuing criminals everywhere? We have our priorities upside down. But as a former general, I would take it that President Buhari knows what he's doing, and his officers or his service chiefs that have overstayed, more or less, they are welcome. And the minds of our nation will suggest to me that probably these are the only hands left and the best hands that can handle things, and the other officers are probably not fit for the position, because there's a time slot for a service chief to remain as at the head of affairs. These ones had overstayed. The whole nation is crying. There must be something behind it that we don't know, and except the president explains, some of us bloody civilians don't know jack.
All right, sir. Let me ask this. What 3 things will you say are required to fix Nigeria in the shortest possible time, and how can they be addressed? Now, we do understand there's no silver bullet, but what things will be catalysts for rapid progress in this country?
Again, I will go back to my constituency, that if you look at our country today, there are different cries, hues, and groaning. The jobless, the poor are groaning. Prices are increasing. To maintain a decent lifestyle is very difficult in Nigeria. Then the separatists, IPOB, wants the Igbos out of Nigeria. And some of the Yoruba leaders and their followers who have been talking of restructuring I've also changed gear into Dudua Republic. The ones in the South are saying, hey, you are killing the goose that lays the golden egg. You get oil from us, give us something commensurate, regardless of what increase they have received in the past. They are asking for resource control, as in true federalism. So how do you fix this nation? Now, I think we put the cart before the horse. And whenever you put the cart before the horse, there is motion, but it's backwards. We need to put the horse before the cart. We need urgently national redemption. Until that takes place, we are just wasting our time. And I'm speaking to the platform belongs to everyone. Anyone with any other religious persuasion can come. But Israel did not make it until Israel was redeemed. And there are plethora of scriptures that shows you there's something about redemption. If Abraham was redeemed, if Isaac was redeemed, if Jacob was redeemed, something happened on the inside of them that fixed their moral compass. I'm trying to say until we can go back. I expect Mr. President to emphasize integrity, honesty in the State of the Nation broadcast. I expect that. I expect our governors to say so. But you know, children don't do what you say, they do what you do. If we don't fix our moral compass, we are going nowhere. There is character deficiency, absolute character deficiency in Nigeria. If I'm your brother or I don't know who is older, maybe I am, and I suddenly join government, and in 5 years I've built 10 houses, you'll be rejoicing with me and say, don't forget me. But you will not ask me a question, how do I come by this? Put all the generals in Nigeria who joined the army at a tender age and became generals and retired, and put all their salaries and remuneration for the period they were in the army together, and multiply by 100 and put it side by side with what they possess and what they control today. You will know that something is going wrong. Our moral compass is critical. And then you will say, okay, let us sit down and introspect. Like Jesus asked the group that said, I go out fishing. Peter, James, and John are all on the boat. He said, children, have you any meat? He's asked, is he working? Is he working with me? Without me? They would labor all night. How many slogans are we going to embrace? I remember a professor, I can't remember his name now, that was in charge of Mamre or Mams. I can't remember this. Mamsa. All kinds of slogans. I remember Dora Akili. We've done all those things, but this thing is inside. Until the inner man is fixed. And that's why my broadcast to the nation on October 1 this year is pathway to national redemption. This country must be redeemed, and it takes redeemed people to make that happen. I'm talking of those blood-bought, blood-washed. We should be nation builders. Those among you shall raise a foundation of many generations. Not destroy it, not break it down, but raise it. You go and say, what exactly happened? The founding fathers we celebrate today, majority of them were not nationalists, as it were. Ahmadu Bello, Northern People's Congress, Obafemi Awolowo Action Group, yes, they had sports or activities in other parts, but it's majorly a Yoruba party. And the amalgamation of 1914, you don't amalgam people. That's a welding thing. It's like taking a welding machine and you can't weld them together. They had their different ways. So if we say, oh, the foundation, something is wrong. If the foundation be destroyed, the next question, what can the righteous do? And he said, the Lord is in his temple. Go back to the foundation he laid and see how it was laid. If we were doing well in the golden era of the regions, and this is where we are today, that we have 36 parastatals called states that are anemic, that can't pay salaries, and we do not see that something is wrong with us, moral compass, number one. Number two, we have sat together in 2014, and if they want to do another one, it's welcome. What are the issues facing Nigeria? All these things have been tabled and lined out, and this is the way to go. But the next administration came and said, I keep this in KIV. Have you noticed that governance in Nigeria has not been continual? So there's a lot of waste. Thank God for President Buhari that majority of the things that President Jonathan started is now being completed. Otherwise, they vote budgets for a particular project, they do it halfway, they abandon it, everybody goes. I saw University of Nigeria in Nsukka that Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe labored with others to build. I see what it has become. Everything that our fathers built is like a generation came after and said, let's destroy it. We are not adding value. So we need introspection. How do we fix our moral compass? It's said, whether it's philosophically sound or not, that the fish starts smelling from the head. If those in power would demonstrate selflessness, if teachers in school would teach like those who taught us in our own days, they said the remuneration or their reward is in heaven. If they are not selling paper and exploiting young ladies in order to score. Look, it's plethora of problems that we have, but when a tree falls on a tree, you start removing it from the top. Because if you carry it from the bottom, you break your back. So let's fix our moral compass. And a nation that wants to make it in the 21st century will prioritize education of the citizens. Our human capital. I don't know if you have employed graduates recently. They hardly can put words on paper that you can read. They've learned, we learned shorthand typing at a point in time. They learn WhatsApp message. Everything is pum, 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 pum. And they're so distracted. But they say we are oh, it's a fraud. You are not creative. You can't function that way. You multitask, but you do not do something properly. Our standard of education has fallen completely. We can't compete with the world because all the things we need, like mathematics, like science, that will keep us on the cutting edge of national development, is not there. I understand that even in courts now, they don't argue cases anymore. That was the joy of our heart when I was called to the bar some 40 years ago. That was the joy of our heart. You want to cross swords at the bar, but now just write your brief and drop it there. You can hire anybody to do that for you. We have become a lazy nation. What's my definition of laziness? A man who hunts but cannot roast. We have oil, we can refine. We have gold, we don't know what to do with it. So we ship our oil abroad, they refine it for us, and then they send it back at a higher price, and we pay. It's called subsidy, it's called all kinds of nonsense that's ruined our educational system. Look at our healthcare. It would take healthy citizens to raise a healthy nation, just as it would take strong men to build a strong nation. I can go on forever, but I think right now, the most important is our moral compass.
Okay, finally, people are asking, the civil liberty groups Save Nigeria, why are they not fighting right now?
I'm going to reply that at the end of October. Look, I am not an activist. Neither am I a social commentator. Those who are asking me to march again, who is holding their legs? God gave me a revelation on the 23rd of December 2009 and repeated the same thing more or less on 2nd of January 2010. And I called a few men into my house, relayed the vision that I had seen, and told them to bring civil society organization leaders to Sheraton on the 7th of January. We paid for Pili Pili restaurant. They gave us the banquet hall. I relayed the vision and the dreams that I saw to them. And I said, we must not let me just hint it so that people know we are not rabble-rousers. We are not running a hopeless race. I didn't say I'm going to march throughout my life and be marching the streets. I did what I did because God instructed me to do so. And if he has not instructed me, then I become a professional agitator. In the first dream, I was coming to Nigeria for Christmas. I had a dream. I saw conjoined twins. The left and the right side of the heads were joined together. They both wore baseball cap. On the other side of their hair that was unusually long, and they spoke at the same time. Don't separate us. You separate us, we die. As a pastor, I came back to the church and said, let's start praying for pregnant women so that they will not have abnormal children. End of story. 2nd January, during a New Year gathering, we were fasting and praying, seeking the face of the Lord. Then I saw 2 young girls. If the young men were teenagers, this would be like age 8 and 10. The older ones suffered renal failure. And the younger one said, I will not let my sister die. I will give my kidney. And they rolled both of them into the theater. I could see it just like yesterday. I didn't see them return, but the surgeon came with blood-stained gloves being removed. And he said, the surgery is successful. As I came out of that vision, the Lord said to me, the north and south of Nigeria, don't separate them. If you separate them, both will die. God has a reason for putting this together. It was that vision that I narrated at Sheraton that led to Save Nigeria Group. And we marched the streets of Abuja, we marched the streets for Jonathan that I'd never met. I'd never met President Jonathan. It wasn't sponsored by any politician. And God rescued our nation from the hijackers who had hijacked power at that time. A doctrine of necessity came. Eventually, the President Goodluck Jonathan became acting president. And when Yar'Adua passed on the 5th of May, that same year, 2010, he became the full president. Disaster was averted. And it was after that President Jonathan invited Save Nigeria Group. Majority of those who marched with me, I met for the first time. It was at Sheraton that I saw Femi Falana for the first time in my life. Professor Wole Soyinka that joined hands with us on that field that day, came to the field that day. I met him for the first time that day that we joined hands together. Majority of those marching the streets in Abuja were Christians. From Family Worship Center, from Jos, all our network pastors brought their people. The equipments on the field that day was from a church. And now they are saying, oh, you went to Ojota to campaign against subsidy. I did not campaign against subsidy. I campaigned against oppression of the poor. Don't kill Nigerians, kill corruption. Because we knew that the subsidy being paid was going to private pockets. Nothing was being subsidized for the benefit of the poor. And the president climbed down after we did the Ojota campaign, and we became friends again. Is there anywhere it is written in the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, or in the Bible, or in the Quran, that whenever there is crisis in Nigeria, it's Bakare alone that must march? My job is not to be voice to the voiceless. Our job is to restore voice to the voiceless. And guess what? A people that will not fight for themselves, will not lift a finger for themselves, let them sort themselves out too. So others who are saying, we are Save Nigeria Group, start your own. When it is time to move and God tells us to move, we as obedient servants will move. But we don't do these things just to impress people. No.
Thank you very much, sir, for this time.
My pleasure.
I believe your message has been well communicated to Nigerians. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.